I'm Jamey Carsel with Farrier Friend Tips and Tricks. I had a request by Daisy Bicking and Jeremy Jennings to do a few shaping some shoes to the 5 foot shapes. Back many years ago, Farrier named Scott Simpson come to the conclusion that there were 5 main foot shapes that you see out there. And it's been published and people use that as a reference point a lot of times. And I was asked to shape to the 5 different foot shapes. So I think what we'll do is we'll start out basically right now with the Norman pattern or the normal foot pattern. And we'll do that right now. Let me get this. So we're going to start off and we're just going to make a Norman foot pattern. We're going to take a little bit of this toe quarter out. We're going to bring our quarter around and try to stop it inside the box. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll take a little bit of this boldness out of this toe. We're going to set our toe quarter down and we're going to bring our heel quarter around by dropping our hand. We will make sure that we're in the box. Get that good shape in there. Make sure we're not too bent anywhere and that we're inside the box. What I mean by in the box is whenever you take a distance from here and your toenail lines up with the center of your heel, and as you can see, that one's a little bit inside the box. And we're a little too bent right there. So what we'll do is we'll just come here, put a little daylight over it, and we'll just bring some of that out. We'll just level everything up and we'll take a look at it. Check ourselves here. A little bit inside on our inside one, and that's coming from the toe, I see. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that out. When you're done, you should have a pretty nice Norman pattern that's in the box and kind of has the shape of Casper the Ghost head inside it. If you'll look, I'll flip that over so you can kind of see Casper's head in there. Kind of see Casper the Ghost head in there. Just a Norman pattern, a normal pattern.
Go.
On this one, we're going to do a boxy foot or a spike foot, like Scott called it. So we're going to put a definite, we're going to come over and put a definite toe quarter in there. We're going to straighten our branch out like that, and we will put our quarter in low. Okay? So we dropped our hand, set our toe. We come on this side of the anvil, and we straighten our branch. Then we dropped our hand and set our heel quarter. That's how we did that. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drop our hand, set our toe. We're going to come here on this side of the anvil, straighten our branch. We're going to come here on that side of the horn and put our quarter in. Now, you will see that we have the boxy foot pattern here. And the same as the other, what we want to do is try to, even though this is a whole different shape, we want to try to be inside the box. So again, this medial heel, this heel right here is just wrapped a little too much. And I will come here and take some of that out. Now, we have, I'll kind of brush this up so you can see it a little bit. But we have your spike foot right there. Straight in the quarters, abrupt at the toe quarter, abrupt at the heel quarter, really late heel quarters in those. A really abrupt toe quarter, straight in the branch. There you go. There is your spike shape. What we're going to do is we are going to make the tag foot. This is one of my Maverick hinds that I designed, and basically it's already there. It's a tag foot, but we're going to go through the motions and show you how to do that. Basically what you would do is come up here and you would set your toe quarter. You would come here and you would straighten your branch until you get the heel quarter where you want it on the anvil. Then you're going to drop the heel quarter and sweep it off the anvil. You would then flatten it out. You're going to turn around. You're going to set your toe quarter. Come here, straighten your branch to where you want the quarter. And on this lateral side, a lot of times the quarter will be a little earlier towards the toe. And you will drop your hand and sweep it off the anvil. When you're done, you will have a good hind pattern and a good tag shaped, is what Scott called them, a tagged shaped shoe. And you will be in the box. Center of your heel goes up through your nail hole. See, we're parallel here. Okay? And that is your tag shaped shoe. Okay, so on this one we're going to make what Scott used to call the stubby foot. The stubby foot is actually wider than it is long. So a lot of thoroughbred feet were like that. So we are going to take this toe quarter and bring it out to there. You can see how we took our toe quarter out. Now we're going to come back around the widest part of the foot and bring it in while we're dropping our hand. Now you can see how we're getting that wider than longer type of foot in this. Okay? Same thing. We're going to take our toe quarter out a little bit to center to the widest part of the foot and start at the widest part of the foot and drop our hand. Now those feet come around a lot at the heel. So the object is still the same. Get that same type of foot that you're wanting in there. But when you're done, you've done the same thing. You've made this wide foot that still comes into the box. I don't know if you guys are noticing that every shape that we're doing, when we're done with what the widest part of the foot does, what the toe does, which is the toe is the foundation of the horseshoe. Get that right, and then get the widest part of the foot right, and then the heel transition right. And you should line up with your toenail from the center of your heel right in the box. Now I have a stubby foot that comes out to the widest part and in, and it's wider than it is long. Now I'll just flatten this up a little bit, and our next move will be the Ralph. Everybody likes the Ralph foot. The Ralph foot is an asymmetrical foot. Okay, so this one we're going to do the Ralph. The Ralph is an asymmetrical foot. It may be the hind foot, so let's drop our toe quarter. And let's straighten our branch. Let's bring our heel quarter in like we would a hind shoe. Okay? And now, this side may be pretty normal, or it could be a spike. Most of the time it's going to be a pretty bold toe. It's going to come in and sweep around normally. using the near side of my horn and the off side of my horn to fit this stuff. Now the objective is the same. To get this foot inside the box. So we have our Ralph, which is almost a hind pattern on that side, but when we are done, you notice we made it inside the box. Our toenails lining up with the center of our heel. This is our inside of our shoe. We got a bold toe, and our foot sweeps around, and we're a little inside the box. Now here's what I'm going to say about this foot right here. Most of the time it kicks out, and this kicks way in on the heel. I'll leave that shoe right there. But if you want it to come out, be perfect in the box, come here with it. But this is your Ralph shoe right here. We'll come back and we're going to show you all 5 of those sitting on the anvil here in just a minute. Okay, folks, so we did this for Daisy and for Jeremy. What we have here are all 5 shapes of Scott Simpson's common feet that you see. So we'll start out here again. We have the Norman pattern, or the normal foot. Kind of see Casper's head inside there. All these shoes are in the box. You have the spike foot that is long and has abrupt toe quarters and heel quarters. You have the stubby foot that you see a lot on thoroughbred type of horses. They're a little wider than they are long. You have the tag foot, which is pretty much a normal hind foot that is narrow in the toe and straight through the branches and has the quarters around, about, or behind the widest part of the foot. And then you have your Ralph. The Ralph foot is an asymmetrical foot. It could be any type of foot. It could be the spike foot on the inside and the hind foot pattern on the outside. It could be anything. I've seen a lot of different shapes of these feet right here. But it's an asymmetrical type of foot. In other words, you have an asymmetry, a pretty good asymmetry in that horse's foot for some reason or another, mostly conformational. But these are all 5 of the shapes that you commonly see that Scott Simpson used to put in the book. If you have any questions about these or the way they were made, like I said, you measure your foot out in the field. If you see this type of foot, try to get yourself in the box and have the width of the foot that you're working on. Most of the time you'll come back and you'll be pretty close to fitting that horse within a little bit if you get these primary shapes pretty correct. So I hope this helps, and give them some tries and practice a little bit. It's always good fundamentals to be able to shape these shoes in the shop, so when you see them in the field, they're not so hard to shape. Thanks a lot, guys.